Says 4:30. Roll call.
Commissioner Bailey,
Here.
Commissioner Bunting,
Here.
Commissioner Gay,
Here.
Commissioner Sapsy,
Here.
Commissioner Owens.
Here. George, can we get you to do the invocations?
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we just thank you for the day and blessings in it, and we just praise and thank you for all things. We ask for continued prayers for our servicemen and women overseas and at home, and also prayers for our first responders, Father. And also continued prayers for our farmers during our harvest season, that they'd be safe and the harvest be bountiful. We ask, Father, you be with us tonight as we deliberate for the folks of Gratiot County. For it's in his name we pray, amen.
Amen. Now will you join us for the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have one correction for the agenda. On J2, request for public hearing, it should say 311 East Superior as opposed to 313 North Superior. 311 East. I think that's where Van Atten's used to be.
East Superior.
And I did put at your place setting, a request with that new address.
Any more?
That being said, move the agenda.
Second.
Moved by George, supported by Tim to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody have a brief public comment? Consideration of the consent calendar.
Move the consent calendar.
Second.
Moved by George, seconded by Tim to approve the consent calendar. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Administrators report.
All right, recruitment, we have hired 2 new district court clerks, in our district court. The new chief prosecutor has begun work up in the prosecutor's office. The only postings that we have are related to the sheriff's office at this point. In the courthouse, we are full.
Perfect.
Activities coming up, Thursday, the 17th, we have the Employee Engagement Committee chili cook-off, which of course you're all invited. If you're outside working, you might want to sneak in and grab a cup or a bowl of chili. I will be defending my second place stature from last year.
What times?
12-1, but if you show up a few minutes early, I'm sure they'll let you in.
When's that?
Thursday,
Thursday.
17th. On the 31st, Halloween, we have a flu clinic in the morning. It will be in here. Actually, I'm not for certain if it's going to be in here or in the break room. But that will be from 9 to 11. And employees are welcome to come in and get their flu shots, family of employees.
I thought you said food. You said, you mean flu.
Yep, flu.
Okay.
Also that day, the courthouse will be hosting its second annual trick or treating for the local children to come through between 3 and 4 o'clock.
It just went up. What day was that? 31st?
Yep, that's on Halloween.
Okay, between 3 and 4.
So if you want to come hand out candy, you're welcome to do that.
I would love that.
Project updates, our lighting project is still in progress. We've gotten to the point where our project is kind of the filler project for the company that we are working with. So as they complete projects, they have time, they come knock out a couple new departments here. Once these lights are replaced here in the commissioner's room, you'll know that they are close to the end of it because these are going to be by far some of the most difficult ones to replace, to get up to. Matt Hewitt is still working on the phone upgrade. I know that I have He's replaced the phone and it's in administration. An absolute noticeable difference in quality and how it sounds. So personally, I can say I'm very happy with that. We are soliciting bids for a pavilion storage unit in between the jail and the courthouse. Once we have bids for that, I'll bring that to the board and ask if that can be
You see a building or a pavilion?
pavilion/lean-to storage. So what we are lacking here on site is a place to store our tractor. Currently, our tractor is down at the drain barn, which is 4 or 5 blocks away. And it is no fun for,
Are they gonna replace this shed that's kind of dilapidated a little bit?
that shed will be
Replaced with whatever the new thing is?
Will be gone, yes. Whether it's a resale or if it is
Mhm.
refused, yes. But, having our employees have to go down to the drain barn at 4 o'clock in the morning in a snowstorm when it's below zero, it's just not something that. But, when I do bring those to you, I'll suggest to see if we could, use some of the donated funds to do that, because that would be a very nice physical item to be able to put a plaque on that says donated by a resident of Gratiot County on it.
A lean-to doesn't have 4 walls.
Well, this will. I call it a lean-to because it'll follow the roof line of the pavilion. So it will have 4 walls. Woodhill Group has begun working with administration with some of the year-end closing accounting functions. So that is underway. As far as the BSNA chart of accounts conversion, which is the first project that they started working on, BSNA is ready to convert our chart of accounts. Currently, we are working with individual departments that have additional software that communicates with BSNA to make sure that that additional software, we have everything in order to be able to flip that switch immediately. So there won't be mass hysteria if someone is entering something into a subsidiary ledger. And lastly, a bit of good news. Eagle today is having discussions with internally about funding sources for the landfill. So we've been pursuing that longer than I have been here with the county. And it appears Tony Miller has finally caught the ear of them the last time he took them around for a tour. So they are having internal discussions. They have made a request to administration for what our annual costs have been in the past and what they look like in the future. So that's very good to hear. And if it's okay with this board, I'd like to give the clerk a minute or two just to give an update on voting.
On voting, yes, we got 10 days and early voting will start. So that will be at the Commission on Aging on the 26th from 12 to 8. And then on Sunday, it's 12 to 8. And then on Monday through the following Sunday, it's 9 to 5 at Commission on Aging. So
The new location is gonna all be down there then, right?
at the Commission on Aging.
Because it was over here.
No, it's always been at the Commission on Aging.
We've been at the Commission on Aging.
I thought it was up here at the.
Early voting.
This is early.
This is early voting.
This is early,
Okay.
the 9 day before the election.
My bad, sorry.
It's okay. And then, but it's still not too late to vote absentee with your local clerks. They will all be available the Saturday before the election if you need to vote absentee, if you can't make it on Tuesday. The polls open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday. So yeah, moving forward. Yeah, I've got lots of training still scheduled for this week and next week for election inspectors, last minute people. that will be working the election, so.
The early votes before the regular vote.
No, so the early votes, those tabulators do not get shut down until 8 o'clock on election night. So the early voting team will go there and close those polls and then bring the results, just like it's a precinct. Just like what they do at night. So they'll bring me the memory cards and then those will be updated, just like the regular precincts do. So the early voting will not be open on election day. They will just be open at 8 o'clock to close the polls. Any questions? Okay.
That's a great job. It's a lot of work. This time of year is very hectic.
You should see my calendar.
I don't want to.
I had to ask if it was Tuesday this morning. And it's like, yeah, so that's okay.
That's all you had? Okay, Commissioner Committee reports. Steve?
I've been at a combine or at my wife's birthday dinner, so I've been to nothing. So I missed Elba, Harrington, New Haven and Newark, so. I talked to all of them. They're all said I was excused. There wasn't anything on the agenda that I needed to be there for, so I took combining and took my wife to dinner.
That's that time of year. Jan?
Yes, I've been to Bethany Township meeting. And I've also been to MSU Extension meeting, which took place. I don't even know where it was at. It was on the other side of Ionia. And we had a tour of the grounds, which was real interesting, and it was put together very nicely. We had a speaker there, and then they furnished a meal, and then we did the tour. And so I was very glad that I had gone. Other than that, that's about it.
I went to the mental health meeting October 10th, Thursday. It's interesting, your brain really deserves study because that's makes us who we are. And we're all different, things like that. Mrs. Boyle, the head, I don't know how she came up with this, but she said that a study was shown if you participate in voting, you're healthier than the non-voter. And Melissa Stillwagon, she had COVID. I guess that's going. They talked about suicide. September was, I don't know if you saw those little yellow flags. Really, it's suicide is a permanent solution to really temporary problems and should be dealt with seriously if someone's talking. So Jeremy Murphy, he's the finance guy. And he talked about a lot of things, but autism, there's a big demand to spend more money, and the demand is there. So, yeah, that's about.
Urge?
Okay, well, it was an odd month this month because our month began on a Tuesday. We had some meetings that start on the second Monday. So you gotta drop everything down another week, but, so on the 8th, I went to Lafayette Township and to Wheeler Township. Lafayette Township is still working on some of their township hall improvements. They're working with, they hired a new person to take care of the hall, clean it and do the, hall bookings for the rentals, that type of thing. They got that all settled. And they're just basically normal course of business. Then, and also on Tuesday morning, I had a Commission on Aging meeting. So that was good. Everything was good there. They've hired a new, head chef, if you will, head cook. She's working out really well. Jen said that she's great. And so they've got that, and they've also hired a new nutritionist. Cause both they had a head cook and a nutritionist that were gone at the same time, so. But I talked to the head cook last night, cause she's also a trustee at North Star. Oh, so she's doing really well, and Jen says she's doing real well, so we hope a lot of good things will happen for that. And then like last night, I say I was at North Star last night for their meeting. Normal course of business, there. And, also I went to Hamilton Township and, viewed I took some pictures. I got some pictures of their new township hall. Looks really nice coming along. It's all sided now. They're just gonna do the interior now, and they're waiting for, plumbing inspection and mechanical inspection. And then they can bring in and start doing their, installation. So they hope to be in by Christmas. We'll see. Yeah. Also, on the 26th of October, Breckenridge is having a party in their park, their uptown park. They're having a big screen TV, or a couple of them, and they're gonna have a Spartan get together. So they're gonna have to watch the Spartans and have a party. So, hey, but if you're not doing anything at 7 o'clock Saturday night, you can go up there and crack a cold one and watch the game. That's what I got.
Not a bad plan. Well, Seville had their meeting last night. Pine Rivers is tonight. Barry and Bernie don't talk too long. And I got a couple meetings later this week. That's all I got.
So coached me on that this afternoon.
Okay, that takes care of the commissioner reports. New business. Number 1, Gratiot County Drain Commission, Bernie Barnes.
I'd like to start with, thanking you guys for the, budget to do maintenance on my building. I'm hoping everybody's seen it went by, and the lighting has really helped us because,
It's prominent now and people see it.
Yeah.
And before they go by, but
yeah, and it's just that parking lot's dark. It was dark, and new lighting really,
all nice now. The parking lot's done, the building's done.
yeah, it really wasn't that much in the scheme of the world, and it looks a lot
Brighten
better.
it up, yeah.
So I appreciate all that. Okay, for Dave, my annual report for the last year. I guess it's something we need to go through and look at, follow up with me on questions, okay? I can touch a couple things. I'm gonna say in a whole, everything's down because we haven't had large rain events in the prior year. Our revenues are up some. It is pretty I think the M46 which is our 96 drain culverts, because of that project, it boosted it up. So it does kind of look like our total projects is still normal, but it's really that 1.8 million of MDOT money that kind of throws everything ahead. I would like to point out, and if anybody has any questions, go ahead. But I'd like to point out page 14. Under intercounty borrowing, the total there is 5,800,000 some. That is incorrect. That's a number that got carried over from the page before. The correct number there is $187,542.68. So it's actually the number right up
Right above
that total. So just cross off that total, the $5 million total and everything will be good. And that number is down 19,000 from last year. Bond projects are down 405,000. Intercounty bond projects down 420,000. Like I say, if you go through it and compare it to last year, everything is proportionally. The reason it is because we had large rain events which caused damage to our drains and the maintenance. And then if there's flooding showing up, that starts up a petition process and to do big work. So no rain is a good thing in a way. In a way.
Wait,
I pulled my cows off pasture already. So yes, there's bad things to it, but and then you guys get into Exhibit A, that's all the supportive information for the front part of the report. You get rid of the report and the start of drain assessments, for the drain house of 2024. That's all your townships. So that's something, yeah, Jan, where you're into right now, that's the township reports. And that might be what we talked to about townships. But if you guys ever need me to isolate and give you details, just give me a holler, shoot me an email or something. Jan, do you have a question?
No, I don't.
Okay. Did I
Yeah,
go fast?
find it.
Well,
One of the questions I was gonna ask you, do you send this to each one of the townships?
yes, we do. After this meeting, it'll be for before November 1st, we send it.
Okay, because I used to make up copies and give it to them. And I
You don't have
asked them, but,
Do that. No, we email, we mail, trust me.
okay.
They get the letter. I mean, you don't have to worry about supplying them. But if they do need something, just have them call our office or stop by our office and we can print it off again. If there is any
Pretty
discrepancy.
happy with stuff that
Yeah.
my district.
Yeah, but if there's ever any questions, I'd rather answer them than have them go unanswered.
You
All
want
right.
to set it? Just kidding.
Just make it convincing. I'll back you. So, if anybody else has any questions, I might be able to answer based on, yeah, I guess either our building or else, 23-24 annual report.
do we have a motion to accept the report?
That we accept the yearly report from the Gratiot County Drain Commissioner.
Moved by Steve,
I'll second that.
supported by Jan to accept the report. All those in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Thank you. Is there any other questions for me?
if I do, I'll stop them, but I did have a couple of questions, but they're kind of stupid questions. When people get taxed on their property, is it because of what? The,
If it's from me, that means they belong in a drainage district. And we did repairs on the drain, we maintained the drain or something. We did something to that drain in that drainage district. And by law, they share the cost of maintaining the drain in their drainage
you know about
district.
this ahead of time.
Yes,
And that's,
I send out a lot of letters, yeah.
I
I
figured,
I do, and that's where, I mean, I always hear we didn't get it, and you know, I understand I got a Christmas card in March last year, so it does happen.
yeah.
But that's where the multiple letters and the way the system's set up, they're getting multiple letters.
How many,
It's like, so you've not got 3 letters now, you know, and there is errors in tax information and stuff, but we usually catch it on the first mailing, then we reissue the mailing, so it's pretty hard for 'em not to know about it.
how long do they have to pay? Does everybody get to pick what they want?
No, it's based on, I want to say, affordability. Okay, because we look at the whole district properties when we do an assessment and we'll take it out over multiple years to make it a lesser amount, but then of course they got to pay interest, you know? So it's not necessarily good to spread it out if you don't need to. But then, you know, an acre parcel on a basic maintenance project, an acre parcel is gonna pay 1. And 100-acre parcel is gonna pay 100. So even though the 1 acre parcel is paying $12, you know, you see what I'm saying? It's proportional, so we look at a lot of times the bigger land masses to make sure, and then we try and look at the whole district and try and keep it affordable is what we do. And usually it's $8 to $12 per acre is where we try and stay into. And, you know, but right in there somewhere.
The fields look really nice, especially this year. I see the crops are starting to come down. Everybody's ahead of the season.
Yeah, we
And,
don't have prices.
pardon?
Prices aren't good, though.
I've noticed that everybody's putting up silos. And, my landlord, I think, I don't know for sure, but I know he's got silos. But do some of them, I think they take in other people's stuff too, don't they? That's what, I mean, I never noticed that as many as there is now.
It's a cost, you know, it's trying to save more money.
Yeah, say that, they save.
Make more.
Okay, well, this kind of what all it was. I kind of knew, but it's been a long time since I've asked you, so if I'd ask you again.
Have some,
Change.
so just give me a call.
You got a nice place down there, I've been in there. It's nice.
Yeah, we tried to keep it. We try. Is there anything else?
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna go do my chores if that's okay.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Okay, number 2. We have a request from Greater Gratiot Development to set a public hearing for November the 4th at 4:30 to consider the approval of 311 East Superior Street for a redevelopment project.
311 or 313?
11.
311.
313.
That was the.
Old days, 5 and 10.
Oh,
There's the change that.
yep, my bad.
Move.
But George, supported by Steve, to
Do they want to make this a motel or project brown?
is probably is gonna be commercial downstairs and rentals upstairs.
Building.
Apartments. I think it's apartments.
No,
Commercial.
Yeah.
no, them Gemini projects.
Well, that's east.
East of State Street, 3 blocks.
The real old building,
I believe that's the one on the end there.
is that the one we're talking?
We have a motion.
Oh, yeah, I interrupted. Sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
Nay. Internet service provider, Matt?
Good evening. I just wanted to present a contract renewal to you all. This is for our internet service at 3 of our county building locations, Gratiot County Courthouse, the MSU Extension Building, and Animal Control. They're offering us a 20% discount for a term of 5 years. We've been using Wintel since before I started here, so. There were 2 reasons I don't have other quotes to present to compare to this one. One is in the future, I'd like to bring another internet service provider on board so that we have a failover for liability's sake, just because so many of our services here at the county run through the internet now and aren't just local to our network. So I'm still investigating getting a second quote for that, but I wanted to bring this before the board so that we could lock this pricing down.
And that's with Wintel?
This is with Wintel, yes.
This is the outfit that
And it's,
we've been doing business.
This is, yes.
this 134.41, is that per month or how does that work?
Yep, the 134 per month on the table is, or sorry, the 134.41 is per month, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Each of those amounts on the table are per month.
Doesn't sound too outlandish, does it?
No, we get a good deal. I mean, the rates aren't, or the speeds really aren't that high, but some of those speeds are limited based on the locations, so.
Right, I'll make a motion that we go accept the contract from Wintel for 134.41 a month.
By George, supported by Steve, to go with the contract. All those in favor, say aye.
Can I just clarify, isn't it 592.7
Yeah, sorry,
for all 3?
it is, yes. Yeah, the 134.
I was just looking at that one list, so.
Thank you, Angie.
So
So
I'll
it's
change it.
actually 592.
Okay, fine.
Yes, ma'am.
I did have one more thing to say. I just wanted to thank the board for adding that IT support specialist position. Wes has been here for 2 weeks now. He's knocking the ball out of the park every single day he comes in,
A
so.
month ahead now, right?
But I hope to be there one day, and Wes is key to getting.
Basically, what he's saying is he's treading water now. I was thinking.
Vote on that?
Yep.
Okay, next on the list, ARPA project list updates.
Yep, it's been probably about 6 to 8 weeks since I've given you an updated project list to show you what it looks like. When you look at the table, it's set up amount awarded, amount spent, and how much is remaining for each contract that we have, whether it's internally or externally. We have 3 town hall projects that are all currently active and on pace to be completed, at least to the point where they've exhausted the ARPA funds that are coming from the county. We have a Wheeler project that has gone dormant over the last couple months. Do need to reach out to them to see that their sewer station upgrades are still in progress, but the fact that they have started them and spent over half of the money tells me that there's a contract in place.
Kelly had made mention that she was gonna get a hold of you. So she should, I don't know why she had to call me now, but she did make mention.
The only project that I have not heard anything about is in Harrington. And that is a sewage generator. I don't know if I'd have to look at the books on whether it's upgrade or replacement, but I'll be reaching out to them. But, you know, this needs to be done in order to plan for what we need to do with the money in case some of it doesn't get spent. So we do have a plan. I've been working with Matt in IT, and I've been working with Tony in Buildings and Grounds to make sure that we have a list of things that are
Ready to rock and roll if you need it.
ready to go. Whether or not they get charged to our capital projects fund or they get charged to the ARP fund. Anybody have any questions? I'm pretty, you see that there is a larger balance in the Gratiot County municipality. Some of that has to do with the airport project that we're gonna talk about later. Some of it has to do with the phone project that's in process and the lighting process, the lighting project. So there's some pretty big projects that are being funded by that. And like I said, we do have a bunch of stuff in the queue just to make sure. $259,000 in interest earned as of last month. So that's duty-free money. Isn't restricted.
It was an added bonus that we weren't expecting.
No, we weren't, because when we got, the interest rates were less than 1% when we were awarded these funds.
Yep.
Any questions? Otherwise, Chairman?
Next up, solar and battery ordinances.
All right, so we have contracted with Spicer. Spicer has given us an a template battery ordinance for us to start reviewing. I don't plan on going through this in detail. This is the first draft that we have. I wanted to get it in front of the commissioners so that you had it, if you had any ideas, if you had any feedback, just to start getting familiar with it. So what I've done with this is I have sent it to Greater Gratiot, Pine River, Consumers Energy, DTE, Venergy, the Planning Commission, and I also sent it to Bernie Barnes because I wanted to make sure that the drain commissioner was on board with it. Not only is he the drain commissioner, but I believe he's also the planning chairman in his township. He does have a position in his township where he works on ordinances also. I did not get as much feedback as I was hoping for. I did get some notes from consumers. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna send this out to the townships because I want them to look at it and I want their feedback on it too. So once I get that, my plan is to bring it to the planning commission so that the planning commission then can debate over it. Give the planning commission a month to work on it, and at the second planning commission meeting, I'm hoping that they will have a recommendation for this board. I'm looking to bring it to you in the beginning of December. The state law for this goes into effect at the end of November, I believe November 27th. I had the chance to speak with, several of us had a chance to speak with Consumers Energy at the township hall meeting. But the industry as a whole, the feeling is they're not interested in going through the state in order to have some of these placements done. The idea is that it will take a very long time for the state to find places in a county, in a municipality to work with an energy company. They would much rather use the relationships that they have with the individual municipalities, the politicians, the commissions there to get what they want. And from what I hear, Gratiot County has a really good relationship. I hear that from the industrial private side, that they like working with us and they want to come to us. They don't want to go to the state. So that's where that is. I do have a lot of materials. If you're interested in this PRIO law that was passed, I have a very nice question and answer that any question that you would have about it would be listed there with an easy to understand answer. Just let me know and I can send that out to you. So I'm not requesting any action on this. I just want to keep you informed and educated on where we're going.
Okay. Any other unfinished business come before the board? Not,
Make a motion that we suspend the regular board meeting, and go into our finance meeting.
I'll second.
moved by George, supported by Tim, to leave our regular meeting and go into the finance meeting. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Ready, Chris?
Great. Our October finance report. Our drain prepayments ended at just under $45,000 for the budget of $150,000 that we had. There wasn't a lot of drain assessments in the past year on the residents. A lot of the big projects that were done in drains were related to the Michigan highways, and a lot of that was funded by the state of Michigan. So that's where you see some of that MDOT money that Bernie was talking about in the report that was presented. Our ARP fund update, the expenses should say in September that were dispersed were payments for the Washington and the Hamilton Town Hall and some of the phone system upgrade costs and the seal coating projects. For September, there was only $150 charge for work on the chart of accounts from Woodhill Group. So keeping a running total for you to see there. MERS OPEB is up 9.3%. Our S&P to date is up 22.7%. That is on the calendar year. Without any questions, I'll go ahead and move on to September cash balances. Our September cash balances, so it's important to understand that at the time of this report, not all of the expenditures have settled yet. The cash balance won't stay the same, but we still need to make some disbursements to other funds. And I think I tried to explain that a little bit in the last meeting, where we have a secondary road patrol fund that is not in the general fund, but the general fund sends it some money to operate. We still need to do some of that. So This cash balance will be updated in the next meeting that we have, the next finance meeting, and it will be a little bit more. But as you can see, in September, we had significant tax revenue receipts.
Is that time of year?
They're paying their taxes.
That's a good thing.
Are there any questions? I can move on to this September check register. Commissioner Owens, thank you for sending me your questions earlier today. He was looking at, well, R.L. Lauren or
Looking at what?
R.L. Lauren, who is, despite public opinion, is a engineering firm that works for the Drain Commissioner, is not an apparel firm.
I mean, this isn't very much, but what about the Brotherhood Mutual Insurance? Why are we, what is that? It's only $33, but I thought it was interesting about the Brotherhood. Got a couple of them here, but let me see if I can find them. So. So,
You're not gonna believe me, but my system says it needs to be upgraded right now. It is the 15th.
and the other one was HPS. What is that too?
Oh, it rings a bell. I think that is related to benefit, but I will,
Benefit? $29,899.46.
The insurance company could possibly be one of my restitutions. We have a lot of insurance companies that we send restitution.
it is not, I don't think it is, it's in a different spot, but while Terry is talking, I will look both of those up.
Who's talking?
Very, very.
Okay.
Are you done with everything you need to do for the moment, Chris?
Yep, well, we got the expenditure report.
Mhm.
When we go on the expenditure report, or if he's got questions, we can put that on him, he can look them all up.
Did you say what that 73,000 was to Lorenz?
Sure, it was engineering.
As far as engineering,
It's engineering for the drain.
Yeah.
Drains, yeah, they gotta do all that.
Okay, well, Chris is updating. September investments, as you know, they lowered the interest rate a little bit. It went down 50 basis points, which is, you know, what everybody else was doing, but that's, you know, we expected that. It didn't do too much damage to us, and it doesn't make any sense to panic and run around and try to figure something else out because everybody did.
It's gonna go down, it's
Everybody,
gonna
yep.
go down, but by this time next year, we'll probably be right back where we.
Yep, could very well be, but.
Gotta make hay with the sunshine.
That's right. And right now, we're still all right, as you can see.
Yep.
Does anybody have any questions on the investment report? Nothing? Okay. There were no large receipts that caught my eye or any enormous bank transfers. I transferred the 4% admin at the end of September, which is an annual thing. And that's large, but other than that, there isn't anything that I thought that you would be interested in hearing about. If you looked at the reports and do have a question, I'd be happy to answer it for you.
Been going good then, huh?
Yep, everything's going good.
All right.
It's tooling along, so. All right, well, if anybody sees anything at a later date that they have a question on, please contact me and I'll get the answers for you. So are you all set, Chris? You ready to? No? All right. I know I had to update all of my programs this morning when I got in. It's just the first and the 15th. That's what happens with BSNA.
Fix that, yeah, so you don't have to do that.
We need the updates though.
You smile.
There we go.
Got it?
In the system.
Got in. Oh, well, we're doing good.
Yeah.
5:15.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, we're doing really good. Get you to Pine River early.
All right, well, thank you.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you.
Still have that?
Oh, you, I can find it.
Yeah.
Which one are you looking for? Oh, Brotherhood, that's on that first page.
It's on
Right here.
voting on that. Should she be there?
Yeah, it's not a funny one.
It's not on the ballot.
We're gonna turn this one.
So,
Where did I have it?
I don't think there's a
It's not very much.
That's all.
Pam is.
Yes, the
Right there.
voting, yeah.
I didn't realize that till you told me.
It is a restitution payment.
Institution.
Yeah. They have two different vendor codes, so it threw me off. But both of them are used for the same thing. HPS. Activity. This is a hospital purchasing service. So this was a purchase that was made by COA. We'll get into it. I know everyone wants to know what it was.
It's not aging by, was it a lot of money?
$29,000.
$9,000.
Bill to
Wasn't to the kitchen?
ship to troubleshooter of mid-Michigan.
Troubleshooter.
Could have been there. Either an oven, maybe $29,000. Wouldn't have been a program. Right? I don't remember that discussion.
Says lift,
HPS?
it says lift gate required.
What?
But it has,
Whatever it was heavy. It needed a
Yeah.
lift gate to lower it. Whoever delivered it for us.
strange, it was invoiced in July. I will follow up on that one.
Could have been a piece of equipment.
Are we
Yeah.
talking about each?
Yes.
We are talking about HPS. There's another one that
What's
was
HPS?
hospitals purchasing service.
Commission on
One's,
Aging.
yeah, I'll reach out to Jen tomorrow.
Remember a big purchase that? Remember it? She might have said something, I didn't catch it.
A lot of new wheelchairs there.
Yeah, but this is needed a lift gate. I mean, it's $29,000. You can buy a heck of a lot of wheelchairs.
Boxes are a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you could buy a power chair for less than that. About 13,000. Well, no, about 30,000. Sorry. I was thinking of a used one.
Yeah, it has to be the new ovens. But
Right, well,
we'll talk to Jen tomorrow.
get back with her, find out what's going on. No problem. All right, so we've gone through that. finance program. If there isn't any other questions to that, we'll make a motion that we suspend the finance meeting and enter into the airport meeting.
For the purpose of approving the.
I didn't want to complicate things. We can't improve the expenditures in the airport meeting anyway.
Oh, you want to go right to the
So
airport?
we'll go to the airport meeting from here. Trying to cut a corner.
Second.
Moved by George, seconded by Tim to suspend the finance meeting and go into the airport meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
All right, so this is a little bit different than normal. As explained a couple weeks ago, we had bids that came in on Friday to remove the underground storage tank at the airport. I wanted to get this before you right away so that we could get this done. And it looks like the contractor, if we select the recommended bid, probably will have it done before the next meeting. So time well saved. We received 5 bids to remove the underground fuel tanks, the pipelines from the fuel tanks to the fuel station and the fuel station. You'll recall that earlier this year, they completed the new fuel station, which is on the other side of the tarmac, and most of you have been out there and seen that. So this was approved by this board a couple years ago as an ARPA project. We set aside $50,000 in the ARP funds to do this. The lowest bid came in at $23,835.33. The name of that company is EQ Industrial Services. EQ Industrial Services is a part of Republic Services, which is the trash and landfill company that you're thinking of. We did call them. We did ask them several questions about their bid, about them, let them tell them about us because they are from Livonia. We had not heard of them before. They're familiar with our area. They actually already were going to partner with Triterra out of Elma to do the environmental testing. We've worked with Triterra before through the land bank, so we felt good about that. They sent us their resource or the reference list, which I included also. Any question or concern that I had from the airport advisory group who emailed me individually, we were able to extinguish, and I would like to recommend to this board that we go with EQ Industrial.
All right. I so move that we accept the bid for the removal of the underground storage tanks and the piping. The bid from EQ Industrial Services Incorporated for a total of $23,835.33.
Moved by Steve, supported by George, excuse me, to accept the EQ's industrial bid of $23,835.33 to remove the 2 fuel tanks and the piping system. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Thank you.
That's it for the airport meeting.
And I would make a motion that we would suspend the airport meeting and go back into our regular scheduled meeting for the purpose of approving the bills.
Support.
Moved by George, supported by Tim, to exit the airport meeting, to go back into regular meeting with the purpose of paying the bills. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That's it for the airport.
Public comment.
Either the current sheriff or the next sheriff have any public comment?